All right, looks like I'm recording. This is Jay Schroeder. This is going to be a brief tutorial on how to use the web survey function on the ERHMS Info Manager. So first I'll show you that this is just some of the preparation that takes place beforehand. We've got a server endpoint address. So that's the address where we're going to publish the survey, and then the org key, which is kind of like your password to access that server account. We also have an email set up, a group email set up that's programmed into the application, and we've just requested from our organization a group email account, and they come back with a couple pieces of standard information, SMTP host, and so that's unique, SMTP port, happens to be 25, and then the sender address. This is the address that we requested for our version of ERHMS Info Manager. So now I'll go over to ERHMS Info Manager, and this is the home screen of the application. So I'm just going to go to the forms, and this looks exactly the same if you're in an incident, but I'm just going to do it in the core version of the application right now. So I'm going to go to forms. I'm going to pick a form that we have here, and I'm going to pick responder, and I want to publish this to the web. So I'm going to click publish to web. That should bring up a dialog box in just a second. Okay, so this is asking for some basic information, and you'll notice that some fields are required and others are optional. So I'm going to call this test survey, and we could put some other things in here. I'm not going to right now. Write an introduction. Please complete this survey. And you can adjust some information down here about the survey start date and the survey close date. So if I wanted it to extend for a certain period of time, 2 weeks, a month, I could indicate that. And if there was a certain closing time, 5 p.m. or midnight, I could indicate that over here. But I'm just going to let it stay at the default settings right now. I'm going to click Next. It just takes me to the tab 2 up here. Again, it has the test survey. That's the title that we just entered. And these are optional: survey number and organization. You can add a thank you. Thank you for completing this survey. So I put a message in there, and you can indicate if you want to allow only one response per participant or many responses. So if you're looking for someone to complete the survey, say every day over a period of a month, you can toggle the button for many responses allowed, and they can use the same link to complete that survey over and over again. And those responses are recorded as individual responses. They're not overwriting any previous responses. Okay, so if everything looks good, I can click on Next. And the last option asked me for the organization key, and that was one of the key pieces of information that I had saved over here. The org key, I'm going to copy and paste that in here. And the reason it's not asking for me for the endpoint address is the very first time you try to publish a web survey using ERHMS Info Manager, it asks you for the endpoint address, and then it saves that information and does not ask you to put that in every time. So I've already done that once before, and there is a way to change that if for some reason your endpoint, if your account information changes and your endpoint address changes, you can change that, but I'm not going to show that in this standard demonstration here. So I put in my organization key, and now I'm going to click Publish Form. Okay, so the form has been published, and it has a couple of pieces of information here for me. This is the URL that you can give to people that you want to complete the survey. And then there's some access information for you to access the survey results. This is survey key and the survey token. And you can copy and paste these individually, but there's already this button over here, copy all to clipboard, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go to my Word document and just paste. So I've got my survey name, test survey, URL to send to respondents, survey key, and survey token. I'm going to save that. Okay, so now I'm going to close that and go back to my ERHMS Info Manager. So now this responders form has been published. Now that it's published, I can assign it to someone. In this case, I'm going to assign it to myself. So I'm going to go to Assignments. I'm going to look for the form here, and these are only the forms that have been, or no, they're all the forms that are available in the Form tab. I'm going to click on Responder, and then I'm going to find myself in the list here, Schroeder J CDC account, and I'm going to add that down here. Now, that's just, that hasn't sent anything to the person I've assigned it to, in this case me. It's just put it on the list. Now, if I want to notify that person, I can click Notify down here. It brings up an email template, new request. You put in test survey. This is some standard text that we have in there. New request has been created. You can edit this however you want to. So say complete the test survey form as soon as possible, and then you go back to some of this information that you've copied over here, the URL to send to respondents. I'm going to copy that and put it into this email, and it should be good to go. So I'm going to send it. It says emails were successfully sent. Hopefully I'll receive a notification in just a second here. And in the meantime, I can click back to go back to my Assignments tab. Check for emails. Okay, that's taking just a moment to come through, it looks like. Okay, looks like my email just came through. So I'm going to open up that email, and this looks just the way I wrote it. So, hello, a new request has been created, requires your response. So if I'm just an emergency responder, this is what the email might look like. It comes from the email address that we've set up as the team email in the application. I'm going to go ahead and complete this survey and submit it. So let's see, we're going to click on the link, and it takes me to this page. Please complete this survey. That's the message that we had as the welcome address. So you know, that could be much more lengthy if you decide to do that. I'm going to begin the survey. Let's see, I won't do all of these fields. Just do some of the required fields. Okay. Okay, so it tells me I didn't complete a few required fields. And I don't have to put my real birth date in there. We just put that there. Oh, and I see up here this is username, so let's put J Schroeder. Okay, so now I'm going to try to go to the next page, and I don't think any of these fields are required, so that allows me to just kind of go through here for purposes of demonstration. And this is the last page, so I can choose to finish later and come back to this, and it gives me some information that I can copy down as the user and come back to this and pick up where I left off. But I'm just going to close that and go ahead and submit the survey. Okay, thank you for completing the survey. That's the finished message that we put in there. So now that version of that response to the survey should be stored on the server. So now let's try to download that. So I'm going to go back to my ERHMS Info Manager application, the Forms tab, and I'm going to highlight the responders form, and I want to import from web, and it asks me for some of this information that in order to access the survey results. The survey key, survey token were unique to that survey that we published, and then the organization key is the same that we've had all along. Okay, so go back here. Survey key needed to access the survey. Copy that. Security token required for downloading the data. Copy that. And the organization key. And that is up here. Okay, then I'll click import. It's contacting the server. And it tells me here that one record was inserted. And so the script is done. I can just close that. And the responses might not be available right away. Let's see. If I click View Responses, those are lots of different tests. But yep, it is available right away. If it had not been available, if I clicked View Responses and there was nothing there, even though I know I just imported some records, I could click Refresh, give it a second, highlight that form again, and then go to View Responses. And then we have the record down here. This is the one that I just completed. J. Schroeder, yep. And that's how you publish the web survey. Couple things that I may not have shown here in the settings, just where we have, the organization is where we have a web survey key. It's not actually reading it from here. This is just a place to paste it in there so any user can access that from a central location. The email settings are, they do have to be in here. They are the account email settings that I had here. I requested the account information from my organization. They gave me those 3 pieces of information. I put it in here, and that's what allows the application to send the email from that team address.